people typically solve the problems where the pain shows up. So they see pain in their relationship, so they think they have a relationship problem. Or they see pain in their career, so they think they have a career problem. Or they see pain in their motivation or their procrastination.
It is deeper.
Yeah, so they solve it where they see it. But
have you seen Tony Robbins' documentary?
I'm Not Your Guru?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's what he does. You know,
yeah, of course.
The woman, she's just like, oh, my diet's bad.
Yeah.
And he talks to her for 10, 20 minutes. And it's like
never
nothing to do with her diet.
Exactly right. So the first step is to turn the light on and see what is the problem here. Are you sure you've identified the problem? Because if you haven't diagnosed the problem, then all effort, energy, time, money spent fixing it is wasted. Because you're just treating the symptoms.
How do we figure out what the problem is?
Great. So the question is, think about what you're most afraid of. So typically people would be afraid of one or two things if they're really honest: failure or rejection. They would be universal. And if they're really honest, okay, do you know what? Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to fail. Or I'm really afraid that people are going to reject me.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that's actually not what you're afraid of. Because if you think about both those two fears logically, if failure is the deepest level of your fear, we're in trouble. Because what's the only way of protecting yourself from future failure?
Oh, not do anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only possible solution, which doesn't make sense because clearly people who succeed fail all the time. They fail often, fail quickly. To solve the fear of failure problem if that's the fear,
that's not an option.
That's not an option. Great. So the cool thing is that's actually not what you're afraid of. Fear is more personal than that. Fear of failure is outside there. It's the implications of failure you're afraid of. So the question is, if you were to fail, what does that say about you? That I am a failure.
I'm not good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you've turned the light on. Now you've identified what you're actually afraid of. You're afraid of your own opinion of yourself. Cool. Confronting, vulnerable, but at least we're on the right paddock now. At least we've named the right fear. At least we know what the monster is. So you can't solve it if you can't see it. Or rejection's the same. Oh, I'm afraid people will reject me. Well, no, you're not afraid of being rejected because the only way to protect yourself from ever being rejected again
is to never put yourself out there.
Don't ever put yourself out there or obsess about pleasing every single person in the whole world. Neither of those are believable plans. But thankfully, that's actually not what you're afraid of. Same question. And if you were to be rejected, what does that say about you? That I'm not worthy of love.
Yeah.
That there's something inadequate with me. I'm afraid that I'm no good. Again, your own opinion of yourself. That's what you're afraid of. Vulnerable, scary, I get it. But at least now you've turned the light on. At least now you're not trying to solve a rejection problem or a failure problem. You're actually solving the insecurity problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. So it's not surface level.
It's not.
And very few people will actually, especially younger people, they'll just immediately think it's surface level.
Well, not just young people, everyone.
Yeah. Without going, okay, what actually is it? And so I guess that's great examples. It's going failure. What's wrong with failure? I've got my own opinion on myself.
Yeah, it's the implications of failure.
So I guess for failure, you fail, then you use a story to flip the script. Is that what you would do?
Well, no. So I'd use that example just to highlight what it is that's actually the problem, which is insecurity. So then let's not even worry about failure or rejection. Let's focus on insecurity.
Yeah.
So if that's the problem, cool, how do we fix this? So then the second thing is around the story piece because you're kind of thinking, well, why am I insecure? Where did this insecurity come from? So I know in my own life, when I started asking that question, because there was massive insecurity that limited me for a number of years. And when I started exploring why am I insecure, I went back to moments of pain and loss and disappointment and hurt through my childhood. There were key moments where certain things happened, certain people did or said things that really affected me and I could still feel that pain. I thought that's why I'm insecure.
Yeah. But
the game-changing idea was the fact that, hang on a minute, life is not about what happens to us. It's about the meaning we place on the things that happen to us. So therefore, I'm not the actor in the story, I'm the storyteller.
Yeah.
So I am responsible. I'm the one who created this insecurity, not anyone else. So it wasn't created outside of me, so therefore it's not going to be solved outside of me either.